Diane in Denmark here, and rah, rah, rah. It is Friday. We made it to the end of another week, incredibly. This is also the end of Bahookie Camp week 2. Let me just put my pom-poms down. I've got my timer with me, and what we did in Bahookie Camp week 1 was we were working on our routines, our daily routines, our daily focus, the weekly routine, and looking at planning so that we had kind of control over what we were doing and our minds. And then this week in Bahookie Camp number 2, we have been hitting all of the Flylady Zones this week, all 5. Now we're into zone 5. And why am I doing that? That's because, it's kind of nice at the beginning of the year to have a fresh start. Normally with the Flylady system, we cover 1 zone per week. So this week has been quite hectic, but I also wanted to show you this week all the zones and to show you the power of 15 minutes. Now, my videos are made in real time. I don't speed things up. The idea is that you clean or declutter along with me, and I want you to see the power of, I'm not speeding things up here. I'm doing this in real time, and it shows you how much you can get done if we, put the blinkers on and we don't start, checking our Facebook accounts and, whatever's going on. But if we just, put on our blinkers for even 5 minutes, you can get so much done in 5 minutes. I mean, you've seen me working here before. If you want to see more of me cleaning and decluttering, I've got a whole playlist there where I normally make 1 video per week of me in zone 4 or zone 5. And you'll know that I can get my windows done in here in like about 2 minutes. Anyway, I've got the timer. The main thing that you remember with all of these, whatever you're doing, whether it's KonMari, Flylady, whatever it is, get your routines done first. Your morning routine, your evening routine. I've done my morning routine. I'm dressed right down to my shoes, and I actually washed my indoor lace-up shoes yesterday because it's the start of the year, and I thought they needed some tender loving care as well, just like my sink. And I've been down for my morning skinny dip with my Danish bestie, so I am feeling great this morning, even though it was freezing cold and blowing a gale. We weren't in the sauna, we were just down in the North Sea and had a good chat afterwards. So I'm ready to go. So I've got the timer started. I'm going to be doing a bit of detailed cleaning in this room because it's we celebrate Christmas, and you'll have seen the videos about that. And it's funny because even the Christmas tree was collected. We have a real Christmas tree, and you can see them all outside today. The Christmas tree will be collected today, and we took it out of here just after New Year, but I'm still finding little bits of the needles of the tree. Are you like that? Like 6 months afterwards, you're still finding little bits of needles. Anyway, I won't be vacuuming during the video. I don't do that because it's too noisy. But once I've finished the video, I'll vacuum, and that'll be me done in this area. So anyway, let's stop yapping and get on with something. And as usual, I've got my wee cleaning caddy with me, just the one that I keep so I can walk around the house and do what I need to do. I'll explain what's in this in another video. There's nothing fancy pantsy, and it's just things that I like to use, and my Flylady cloths, which I love. So anyway, let's get on. So let me turn you round, and we'll start in the other corner. Okay, set my timer now. Just hold on. Right, I've just taken off my cardi. First up, feather duster on a stick. We're going round the room clockwise, as usual. So I am behind you, into the corners. Here we are. Along here, and back the other side. speakers. There we are. Right, and then I'm on the home stretch. Walking behind you. Here we are. Okay, well that was that done, and I'll give it a shake outside when I'm finished. Remember, you don't need any fancy equipment. I didn't go buy a special duster. I just stuck my feather duster on one of these, an old mop pole that I had. So, and it's really great also, as you saw, for going underneath furniture. Because don't you hate it when you kind of stick your hand into a corner to switch on, you know, so to plug in something and your hand goes into a cobweb? I hate that. So it's really good to have a feather duster. It's a good investment. Right, next up I'm going to dust the, I'll tell you what, I'll do the windows. Let me see. One is for glass. There we are. Okay, are you ready? Scoosh, scoosh, scoosh. Scoosh, scoosh, scoosh. Scoosh, scoosh, scoosh. And my Flylady purple rag up on my toes. Done. Right, that's the door out to the little balcony down, and now I'm just going to turn you around. Oh, now let me see. Ooh, boop. And then we're going to do the one out towards the garden, the windows. Right, and again, scoosh, scoosh, scoosh. And hold on, let me just come and sit here for a minute. Please don't feel like you have to do the whole window. As I've mentioned before several times, when we are working the zone, I do the windows in that zone, just because it's easier for me that I don't forget them. And about 10 years ago, I never did windows. I never even thought to do them. This way, you know, it takes me like 2 seconds or 2 minutes to do it. And because I'm doing it regularly, consistently, it only takes 2 minutes. But if you can't manage the whole window, you know, just get the bits that you can actually reach. Or if you've got, you know, when the kids are small and they're kind of up to that height, you can see the fingerprints all around. Or if you've got a dog with a wet nose, just do those bits. You don't need to be cleaning the whole window. Just do a little bit. So anyway, that's my windows done here. We don't have a mirror in the in this room, so there's nothing else that way. Tell you what, I'll just give the front of the television a wee wipe. So let me do it that way again. Just while I've got my cloth out. And I don't need any product for that. Just turn my cloth. Right, that's all the kind of glassy things done. Next thing I'm going to do is to do the flat surfaces. And I'm going to start with a table here. And I just wanted to also say, if you saw my table, that when I come down, excuse me, in the morning, this is how our living room looks. Because when we go, when we're sitting here at night, if you see me on Instagram, say, evening routine is done, I'm going to put my fluffy slippers, and then you see that I'm going to have some hygge with the family. And that table is full because we've got books on it, we're maybe playing a game, there's the teapot, the biscuit tin, and our electronics. But when we go to bed at night, everybody does their own poopa, pick up and put away. Everybody takes their their teacup and puts it in the dishwasher, puts the coaster in the wee bowl that we've got there. The remote controls go in there. So when I come down in the morning, or when anybody comes into this room, this is how it looks. It looks I think, fairly calm. And just by putting things away after yourself, it makes such a big difference. Only takes 10 seconds. And I always say to the kids, before you leave the room, before you leave any room, have a look around. Is there anything that you've brought into this room that needs to go back? Whether it's, school books or a coffee cup. But anyway, I've been sitting on my Bahookie. So back to a bit of cleaning. So the only thing that we have on the coffee table here are the candles and the bowl that contains coasters, a lighter for the candles, matches. Oh, here's our game of sets that we like to play. Right. And I normally don't use a lot of product for main dusting, but I like to put a wee bit of my Pledge. It's just a thing from when I was a kid. Mum and my granny always used Pledge. So. There. And I'll do the legs today. Right. Woohoo! Another one done. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to do the flat surfaces. As I said, I don't really need any product. I think this was the Flylady one, little purple dusting mitt, and I feel very glamorous when I'm using this. So anyway, I'll start as usual. I start in one corner and work my way around. I've got a wee table over here. I'll do first. The chair where I sit and read. And actually, I must tell you about a wee book that I'm reading. I'll mention this at the end of the video because it's brought up some funny things. That's that done. Okay, over this way, and I'm just going to continue. Window ledge. Lamp. And let's keep going clockwise. And actually, because I've got my indoor clean lace-up shoes, I can just kind of jump on the furniture. Just get along the top of this painting. Right, the next one. Right. just going to bring it around a wee bit this way so we can see what's going on. That's always my little Liberace moment. Now, what I did find here, which shouldn't be in front of the piano, is something I got from my husband for Christmas. It was just a silly gift, but it's a little air hockey game. That is going to live in the dining room. Well, we've got space, but I can see here there's a box that came with it because you had to finish building it yourself. It was just a very cheap gift from Flying Tiger. I don't know if you know it. It's a Danish company that has now kind of gone global. You can find. I went to Tokyo and there was Flying Tiger Copenhagen in Tokyo. It was really a weird thing. And when I was in Brussels a couple of months ago, there was one there, and I think they're in Scotland now. So. Kind of everywhere. Anyway, there were some extra screws and things for this in the box. I need to check with hubby, do we need to keep them? Because otherwise that needs to go out. Because it's not going to sit there for the next 3 months. Remember, if you have any Christmas gifts, are they still in the boxes? Have you got, gift sets with, perfume and hand cream? Get them out of the boxes and let's get using them. Anyway, I'm going to put this next door in the dining room, and I'm going to put this on my husband's desk so I know to ask him about that. Yay, okay, timer's gone. Okay, so let me just turn you around again. So we've been working for 15 minutes and I have dusted the ceilings with my feather duster on a stick, and I have also cleaned the windows in here and the television. I have surface dusted things in here, given it a detailed dusting. And I've done and I've talked a lot as usual. And the last thing I'm going to do, as I said, is I'm going to do a vacuum in this room. Let me turn you down a wee bit. There we are. But I did want to point out to you that once you have finished your 15 minutes, I always say 15 minutes, make sure that this is my little corner, my little nook where I like to sit and read. Make sure that you please just give yourself a rah for what you've done. Don't worry about, all the things that you think you should be doing. Just set your timer for 5 minutes and say, yay, I managed to, clear off a hot spot. It all adds up. It really does all add up. And, get yourself a good book to read, get your feet up. Set your timer for 15 minutes because we don't want to be, sitting there all day. But what I did want to point out was I got this book yesterday. I mentioned it on Instagram that my husband had seen it on a literary site as this was one of the big books for this year. Now, can you see it? It's a really cute looking book, and it's very small. It's a thin book, and it says here, a monk's guide to a clean house and mind, which I thought, that's interesting. And it's a Japanese Shin Buddhist monk. And it describes his life and how the monks live, and it's marketed as one of these self-help books, and it's more about how the monks live than things that you can really use on a daily basis, because you know the monks you know obviously don't have children or other influences in their home, and they have very set routines. But what I loved about it was that there's so many things about having a routine, because the routine gives you the structure to your day. It gives you that zen feeling. I've talked about this before, when you're having a really tough days, or you know when my dad died, or you know when you have these tough days, those are the days that the routines pull you through, you know, and putting one foot in front of the other. And also they're just very calming and soothing. And he was talking about that, and there's also a lot of things about, you know, when you've used an item, pick it up and put it away, and pupa, you know, there's a lot of Flylady things in there. And this is the thing, Flylady, KonMari, the Monk's Guide, all of these things, they all boil down to the same thing. We've got to keep it simple. We only keep what we use and love. You know, decluttering, and when we do bring an object into the home, we've got to give it a home, you know. Everything's got to have its little house, its little home, and when we've used it, we put it back. And that's all, you know, the lean process. I mean, it all boils down to the same thing, because by paring these things down, it just gives us that peace of mind, and we go through our day and we know what's happening. I mean, everybody can benefit from that. And I remember when I found Flylady, like 12 years ago, it was kind of trendy back then to say, well, I don't need to clean because I'm making memories with the kids, and it's great that I've got huge dust bunnies in the corner. And that may be great for a lot of people, but for me that really doesn't work. I wasn't feeling like I was making memories with the kids. I felt like I was behind the whole time. I was forgetting things, forgetting meetings that I had to go to. I was totally stressed out because, you know, I didn't know what was for dinner. I mean, now I know what's for dinner the next 3 or 4 days. I didn't know what was for dinner. You know, I was standing there at 4 o'clock with the baby and didn't know, you know, and my husband was away travelling all the time when I was, when their kids were small. That didn't help me at all. I didn't feel like I was making memories and it was good for me at all. You may be that type, that's great for you, but for me it stressed me out. And I wasn't making memories with the kids because I wasn't standing there able to, you know, do crafts, because I was stressing the whole time. Anyway, it's worth it if you can get a copy from the library. It's worth the reading. It was quite funny, just because I kept on saying to my husband, routines, and he was talking about being consistent. Yes, I love the part about being consistent. When we're just consistent with doing, you know, our weekly home blessing or working in the zone, life is so much easier. It really is. Anyway, enough of me talking. I'm going to get myself a nice cup of coffee and then I'm going to start work. So anyway, have a great weekend. You know, I only post Monday to Friday. Those are my rules. I try and stay off YouTube at the weekend. You will see me on Instagram posting, you know, outfit for the day and what we're having for dinner. I do that. It's not for you lot. It's actually for me. It keeps me accountable. But I love to see you posting, and it's so funny because people say, oh, it's a good reminder for me to see, you know, that I've already shined my sink. Just a little hello to the Australians and the New Zealand lassies out there, because you are way ahead of us. You're like a day ahead of us. So anyway, let's all keep working together. See you bright and early Monday morning. This was Diane in Denmark signing off and saying live long and prosper.